Drake's journey is one that has and continues to inspire millions around the world. I mean, in 2019, Drake made number 5 on Forbes' list of the richest rappers, and he was the youngest on the list by 10 years. He probably now would have moved to number 2 or 3, as his net worth has risen from $150 million in 2019 to $250 million now, but the people at Forbes haven't updated the list since then. From being a struggling artist to becoming one of the highest paid musicians in the world, the rapper is just a vivid depiction of success. And just so you know, music is actually where Drake ends the list. Like, he gets only about 10% of the streaming sales, while his record label takes the remaining 90%, so he doesn't really make much money from all those Spotify and Apple streams. Drake actually makes most of his money from tours and his various side hustles. So today, let's take a look at all the different ways Drake makes his money. Let's dive.
I appreciate that, but when you say it, it's almost like you have this like kind of undertone, like there's like an auto-tune crying under you.
Oh.
Music sales. But just before we talk about Drake's smallest source of income, we need to first of all talk about how Drake earned his first ever income. In his early career, around early 2021, Drake actually first started out as an actor, getting his first big break on the Canadian TV series Degrassi. The Canadian-born then actor won a Young Artist Award for his time on the show, and he was actually on the show for a very long time, staying on the show till like late 2007. And money-wise, Drake wasn't doing bad at all, earning a high school teacher salary for his time on the show, about $47,000 annually, netting him around $380,000 for his 8 seasons on the show. He ultimately chose to leave the show in late 2007 to pursue his career as a music artist, which then brings us back to Drake's music sales.
Middle of Hackney hustling, it could be in music, you could be building houses, you could be doing whatever, but
Drake is one of the biggest and the most streamed artists of the decade. His major audience are the younger tech-savvy generation, so it's no wonder that Drake is the king of streaming. But when it comes to earnings, Drake gets only about 11% from all of his music sales, and according to multiple reports, Drake has sold over $130 million in just albums alone throughout his career. Now, when we put the 11% in the equation, we can estimate that Drake has pocketed about $14.4 million in total from all 5 of his studio albums. All of Drake's singles have generated about $99.5 million. And again, when you factor in the 11%, from all the top charting singles Drake has dropped, he has only pocketed around $11 million. Now, don't get me wrong. These are still very impressive numbers, but it just does put into perspective how much these record labels profit off these artists. But streams and music sales aren't Drake's main source of income. Touring is.
As a matter of fact, Drake makes almost 10 times more off of tours and concerts than he does making and releasing music for the world to hear. And this goes for just about every musician out there. Other than having to pay employees, travel fees, and of course taxes, the artist gets to take home the majority of the money when it comes touring. And Drake is a perfect example to show how profitable this sort of thing really is. Drake's first tour, called the Away From Home Tour, was all the way back in 2010 and generated an astonishing $18 million. It's reported that established artists tend to pocket around 85% of tour profits, so if we stick to that rule of thumb, Drake earned around $15.3 million just from that tour alone. Yeah, that one tour back in 2010 made Drake more money than half of all of what he earned from sales and streams throughout his entire career so far. Fast forward to 2012, Drake released his album Take Care and did his second tour. The tour ended up being the most successful hip-hop tour of 2012 and grossed over $42 million. Out of that $42 million, Drake probably pocketed around $35.7 million. Once again, in 2013, Drake dropped an album called Nothing Was the Same and followed it up with a tour called Would You Like a Tour? That tour generated over $46 million, with Drake's take-home probably being $39.1 million. Drake then took a little break from touring, but later bounced back in 2016 to do his 4th tour for his album Views. This tour was the most successful hip-hop tour of all time and generated over $85 million, meaning Drake probably took home around $72,250,000. In a little over 3 months, Drake did 54 shows and made over $72 million. That's over $1.3 million every time he stepped on stage. Drake also did a tour recently with Amigos called Aubrey and the Three Migos Tour. The tour generated around $79 million, but we can assume this tour was probably split 4 ways. If this was the case, we can estimate that Drake made about $16,787,500 off this tour. In total, Drake has allegedly made around $179,137,500 off of touring alone.
That's crazy. Drake does a lot more than just music to be able to afford his kind of luxurious living, though. For starters, he co-owns OVO October's Very Own, which is a company that encompasses his record label, clothing line, and radio station. In 2019, he made about $50 million in profit off of his clothing line alone. Drake is also an ambassador for his favorite sports team, the NBA's Toronto Raptors. He started the massively popular We the North campaign in partnership with the team. He's even hinted at his desire to buy the team one day, which seems 100% possible as the rapper continues to grow his fortune. Drake has the money to spare since he reportedly makes up to $2 million per night while on tour. His fortune has convinced him to start branching out on other investments, as he recently became an investor in the tech company called Omni. On top of that, Drake even has his own luxury line of champagne called Mod Selection, which costs between $300 and $400 a bottle. Drake is also a brand ambassador to several high-profile brands including Nike, Jordan, Sprite, and Apple Music. These brand deals have helped him earn millions of dollars, with some deals reportedly being worth upwards of $10 million. For example, Drake signed a deal with Nike's Jordan brand in 2013, and the partnership has resulted in the release of several limited edition sneakers that have been incredibly popular with fans. Drake has also invested heavily in real estate, with several properties in his portfolio. He reportedly purchased a $7.7 million mansion in Toronto in 2015, and he also owns a condo in Miami and a house in Hidden Hills, California. Overall, Drake's entrepreneurial spirit and willingness to take risks have helped him to build a diverse portfolio of businesses and side hustles. And while music remains his primary focus, his other ventures have helped him to create additional income streams, generate passive income, and build long-term wealth for his family. Awesome.
Yeah.
What's up, gangsta?
Right?
What's up, gangsta?
Got it, man. What's happening?
What's up, gangsta? Put them
What's
glasses
good,
on,
man?
man. Let the people know what's up, man.
Man, they already know what it is, you know. They know we holding it down.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
I'm just sitting here trying to make something happen. Can't sleep, can't go out.
Yo, me too. I can't sleep for shit. Oh my god, my schedule is like I'm up to like 2 p.m. sleep, and then I'm up by 7 p.m. putting up shots in the gym. I had about 6 tequilas already. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what time it is, what day it is.
Yeah. I went out and I bought a PlayStation today. I mean, a couple of